Good evening, everyone. Oh my goodness, we have an interesting view in my camera. Welcome to our Tuesday evening introduction to LifeWave and X39, the star of the show. My name is Gregory, and I, Robin Blank-Muscari, are your co-hosts this evening, and Gregory will do a short presentation, then we'll introduce our practitioner for the evening. It's Dr. Barbara Jennings, and then we turn things over to you. So I'm going to turn things over to Gregory and get the show on the road. So thank you, my dear.
Okay, well, let me get my camera turned on. Okay.
Amazing.
And ready to go. Well, good evening, everyone. We're very excited to be able to share information with you tonight about LifeWave and X39. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to talk about activating your stem cells. This is a really cool subject, and it's getting the planet's attention, and for good reason. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you kind of an aha moment I had a number of years ago. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, and that's younger. I want to do everything I can to put the brakes on the aging process and maintain the vibrancy of youth as long as I can. So let me ask you a question. Let me shift it to you for a moment and ask you, if anything were possible, what is one thing you choose to experience differently in your health or in the health of someone you love and care for? And if you could make that change or that difference, what would it mean to you and them? Think about that. And we just might have something that could help you accomplish that. Before we get started, I just want to make a note that our products are not designed or intended to heal, treat, cure, or diagnose any disease. They do help bring our body back into a healthier homeostasis level. And many times, some of those symptoms of aging just start melting away, okay? So welcome to the stem cell revolution. And because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger, and stem cells are the key, excuse me, because they're a vital part of our immune system that helps to regenerate and repair damaged cells throughout our entire body, organs, glands, bones, muscles, eyes, everywhere. So the problem is the older we get, the less stem cells we have. And by age 60, only a small percentage remain. And sadly, the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. Now, what about stem cell injections? Because they become quite popular, but you know what? They're also pretty darn expensive. They can be painful, risky, controversial. And you know what? You can spend tens of thousands of dollars and there's no guaranteed results. Well, we've got really good news we're sharing with you here tonight, because you can look, feel, perform, and live younger with a historic breakthrough in stem cell activation. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, non-invasive, it's drug-free. It's actually a patented form of phototherapy that uses specific frequencies of light to increase and improve our stem cell activity. Now, this is the brainchild of our visionary founder and CEO, David Schmidt. And David's not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, he's also a genius inventor with over 130 patents and patent pendings. He's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years, and he's already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of LifeWave phototherapy products. And I'm happy to tell you, many more studies are always in the works, and that's because LifeWave is an 18-year-old advanced technology company focused in the field of health sciences. And sorry about my cat wants attention right now when I'm doing the presentation. So that's Sophie in the background. Excuse me just a minute. One of the benefits of a home-based business, right? So the company was founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology developed for Navy SEALs to increase their strength, stamina, and performance without the use of drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. This technology turned out to be so effective, it's now used by professional athletes worldwide. We have corporate headquarters and laboratory manufacturing in California, Utah, and Ireland, and we have global distribution over 75 countries with 15 global distribution centers. So the word is certainly getting out, and LifeWave patches are now used by pro and amateur athletes around the world in almost every sport. The media has begun to notice, and you know what? You might too, if you look carefully at some of your favorite athletes and Olympians, and you see these auspicious little patches on their body, maybe under their wristband or watch, and that's LifeWave. So how does the amazing technology work? And let me explain it briefly to you. It's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals that when they're applied or near our body, they're activated by our infrared body heat, and then they begin to emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulates targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in our body. So photobiomodulation is the basis of our LifeWave phototherapy patches and technology. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause specific changes within the body. For example, when we go out in the sun, one specific frequency of light causes our body to make vitamin D. We're not getting a vitamin D download from the sun. We're getting a light frequency download from the sun, and our body responds by manufacturing vitamin D. Likewise, another frequency of sunlight, ultraviolet, causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. Well, LifeWave's patented technology is based on the same rock-solid, widely recognized and accepted scientific principle. And I'm happy to tell you that for the last 14 years, our focus has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And 4 years ago, we released to the global market the LifeWave Stem Cell Activation Patch. And this truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell activation. Some are calling it the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science. And we are actually doing what big pharma and multi-billion-dollar companies have not been able to do. X39 actually activates a very specific copper peptide in our body that triggers and activates our body's own stem cells, while also altering gene expression towards a younger and more vibrant you. So it's a game changer, and it's a true breakthrough, X39. And our inventor, founder, and CEO, David Schmidt, says, "This is my greatest accomplishment yet," with an emphasis on yet, because this gentleman spends more time in the laboratory than he does at an office, and he already has over 130 patents and patent pendings. So yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. Yes, we have field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, this is very exciting news. So with that said, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Robin, and let you introduce our special guest health practitioner today.
Okay, thank you. That was wonderful.
Thank
Great
you.
job, as always.
you.
Okay, so it's my pleasure, as always, to introduce our special practitioner this evening. And Dr. Barbara's a favorite. They're all favorites. It's so wonderful to just feel great about everyone. And they all have their own unique gifts and talents. She comes to us as a functional chiropractor, functional medicine chiropractor, with a fascinating background, having started out as a classical pianist, got a very serious illness, and had a natural doctor help her. And now she's an expert in thyroid and autoimmune situations, and became a chiropractor. She also teaches NIA. She's got 7 children with her husband. Is that fabulous? And she's an expert in so many arenas. I took a 4-month detox program for her, which was amazing. So she's a detox expert, has many tools in her tool chest. And she is here with us this evening. Dr. Barbara Jennings, welcome.
Hello, good night, good evening.
Hi. Good evening. How are you?
I am great, thank you. Hope you're well.
I'm getting better. I came back a little stuffy from this little adventure in Arizona. Go figure. It was cold and rainy.
Arizona.
I know.
I know. I was there the week before you, and it was cold and rainy. Yes.
But it all went really, really well. It was
Arizona kind of let us down weather-wise.
It rallied
Yeah.
at the end there. But anyway, well, to jump in there, Dr. Barbara, you always have amazing stories. Do you have any new, fresh ones, or one that you really want to share before we jump into the topic tonight?
Uh, well, I have more hot flashes stories. Those are just, there's usually a steady flow of those coming in. Um, so, tonight's mostly about X39, but I have to sing the praises of SP6 and how many women it's helped relieve hot flashes. Um, in such a short time, I've never seen anything work so fast.
That is fabulous. I know a lot of people are going to really appreciate that because I've had that experience too with several people. So how exciting. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, let's jump in. And X39 is the star of the show. We keep a focus there because it's so comprehensive and it does so much. So many things. Many times it's the only patch people will need. So who is this patch for and who isn't it for?
Yeah, well, I like to say that it's for anybody who has a body that needs any kind of healing and repair, which is it's everybody who's alive, really. There's a very small group of people who it's not recommended for, and those would be people who've received an organ transplant. And if they're actively undergoing chemotherapy treatment. So if that's not you, then this is for you and will benefit you in many, many ways.
Beautiful. Isn't that exciting? We have something safe, natural, affordable, and it works. Like amazing.
Yes. And it works. I would not be here if it didn't work.
That's true. Well, how did you get involved? What was it that got you as a doctor, got you interested enough to try it on yourself and then after that share it with your patients?
Well, my friend Michelle Niels, who I've known for a long time, 17, 18 years, she told me about it. She told me about the copper peptide, and I remember learning about copper peptide a long time ago in school. It's not something chiropractors are talking about all the time. But then, she gave me one to try. I didn't feel anything from it, but, I'm not in pain and I didn't have a lot of problems. I'm a pretty healthy person. But the fact that there was something as easy as a patch that could possibly, if it worked, could possibly increase people's stem cells, because I had a lot of patients who were, currently considering stem cell injections, and I was having stem cell companies approach me, quite a few of them, asking if I wanted to bring stem cell therapy into my office. Do I want to bring in a nurse practitioner, blah, blah, blah. It's a big production and it's very expensive. And I wasn't interested in that. So the possibility that a little patch could work to achieve something as good, maybe even better, was really interesting to me. So I ordered a bunch for myself and my husband to try. And we tried them for 3 months ourselves, but after a week, I felt better. And I didn't start out feeling bad, but within a week, I had more energy and I was sleeping better.
Beautiful. I love it. So it was a trusted friend. And how important was the science to you?
Very. Yeah, very. Now, I already had been using light therapy, so I understood that. And I understood how different light frequencies have different effects on the human body. So that made sense to me right off the bat.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we're looking for practitioners that are open like Dr. Barbara. So it can affect a lot of people. And the science typically has them be open and interested, and then the results speak for themselves. Okay, so let's jump into X39, the star of the show. A lot of people ask us this, and I'd love to have you answer to everybody. What is it that people can expect, and how long is it going to take for people to notice something?
Everybody asks that question, and it's the $1 million question. The answer is really different for everybody. We can't predict that before putting it on your body. So the best we can do is give people realistic expectations and say, look, it could be days, it could be months, and anywhere in between, and they're all good. They're all normal. Just the body has its own priority system. It's a very intelligent thing. And when you increase that copper peptide, it's going to use it. And when that copper peptide is elevated, it will activate stem cell production, and your body will choose what's most important from its perspective, what's most urgent. And that may or may not be something that you notice.
Okay.
So, yeah, right. So a pain in your back may be less urgent to your body than maybe something in your heart or in your liver or something else.
Okay. So stem cells are really smart, is what you're saying.
Yep. Yeah.
They
The
know
body's
right where to
smart.
go.
The body will send them and bring them in to repair what it wants. And, I think most people do notice something within days or weeks. But there are a group of people where it takes months and sometimes several months. And I just want those people to know, don't give up. Don't give up, because these patches will work for everyone, right? You've got to have, I know you're going to ask me, you've got to have a well-hydrated body for them to work well. And you need enough copper in your body in order to make that copper peptide. So copper-rich foods should be part of your diet. And if those two things are in place, they'll work, and they'll probably work without those two things in place, just not as well.
Beautiful. So we've got to do our part and
Right.
create the optimal conditions, and hydration, as you said, is one of the most important. What other things do we need to be doing to make sure we get maximum benefit? Hydration, have some copper. How often, how long do we wear them? About consistency, what else would you like to share?
Yeah, well, David Schmidt recommends that they're all designed to last for at least 12 hours. But in order for your body to not adapt to them, adapting means it will start to ignore them, right? So that doesn't happen. You need to have a break, a period of time. So it's 12 hours wearing them and 12 hours away. And that's just a break from the same patch, right? So you don't want the same light frequency stimulating your skin 24/7, or you will adapt to that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Some people prefer wearing it daytime, some prefer nighttime. It really doesn't matter with X39, as long as you're not one of those few people that don't sleep as well because it's energizing, right? So wear it during the day if it's energizing to you. A lot of people sleep better with it at night. So that's just something every person needs to try.
Beautiful. It's so wonderful. I used to hear all the time, trust your instincts. And like you said, try it day, try it night, and see what your preference is. I know there's some people in Florida that like to wear it at night, because the one way it doesn't stay on very well is if you're sweating. And so they're sweating less at night than during the day. So that was their choice. Okay. So I'm getting back to, about what to expect. Are there any contraindications? Can people use this technology if they're taking medications? How do you share that with people?
So as far as medications go, yes. The only medication I'm aware of where you should pause X39 is chemotherapy. So there is no medicine. It's not a nutrition supplement. There's no herbs in these. All it's doing is reflecting light into your skin at a special frequency. And so they're very safe to use. There aren't any other contraindications with medications. I put them on my 87-year-old dad I put them on my 2-year-old granddaughter. So they're very safe. And I will also want to just stress the fact that these, the patches help move the body into homeostasis, right? These are balancing. They're not ever going to push a body out of balance.
Beautiful. They support the body doing what the body's designed to do, huh?
Exactly. And that actually was a huge selling point for me, is that, wow, it's using the instruction of light frequency to tell my body what to do, or what it can already do in the way it's supposed to do it. There's nothing fake about these. They're very natural. It's working with the body's way.
Beautiful. Okay, anything else you want to share before we open up for some stories and questions from our audience?
Well, I have hours and hours of patient testimonials that I could share, but we let's go ahead and see what people have.
It's so wonderful as a practitioner to have something, like we said earlier, that's safe, natural, affordable, and works to enhance the outcome that you're able to do as a clinician and a practitioner. All right.
Yeah, I will share one thing, Robin.
Yes, please.
So I recently had a man come down. So he's from Southern Colorado, but he was up in Wyoming at a patient of mine, and he has severe low back pain, just really severe. And he was going to get nerve ablation, and he was going to have other surgeries. And he was in so much pain that he could barely even sit in his truck and drive. And so they called me and said, "Can you see him? He's going to be driving past Fort Collins." So I went in and saw him, just met him at my office. I put Ice Wave on him, and that immediately, within 15 seconds, it took his severe pain, where he can't even sit in his truck, down to about a 3. And wow. I put glutathione, I patched him up, Ice Wave, X39, Eon, glutathione, to reduce the inflammation. And he was able to drive home, I don't know, in perfect comfort, but so much better. And I'm just grateful to have these for cases like that, because they do happen. And there's probably people on this call who's either experienced that or someone in their family has.
That is our most demonstrable patch. X39 is definitely the star of the show, with the majority of sales worldwide. And in clinical studies, Ice Wave gives instant or rapid pain relief, like Dr. Barber said, in 94% of people, which is very exciting. Okay, ready to jump in? And for those of you that have a story to share or a question, please put them in the Q&A, because that's where I get them from. Leora, you've got the right person with your requests. She wants to know about a protocol for thyroid imbalance. Dr. Barber's a thyroid expert, and there's very few people I would ever say that about, ever. She has been there, and she knows. So,
been there, done that. I'm a walking recovered horrible thyroid condition person. Okay, so a thyroid protocol. There's a few ways to approach it, and my recommendation would actually differ as to whether or not you know if there's an autoimmune condition with that thyroid or not. So my go-to things, if there is autoimmune, then you want to use Eon and X39 for sure, and glutathione, and you can use them directly over your thyroid. So people with a thyroid problem usually need to detox the thyroid gland itself. So I would go ahead and wear glutathione on the thyroid. Remember, it's shaped like a butterfly here. So you can You can put it in the middle, or you can sometimes wear it on the right, sometimes on the left, because those are the big lobes. But glutathione to help reduce inflammation, but also to help it detox itself. And there are a lot of chemicals that like to get stuck on the receptors in there and mess with your thyroid. So X39 always, glutathione and Eon, because especially with autoimmune activity, Eon is going to help balance and support normal immune system activity. And I would wear that on the back of the neck. You could wear the Eon here over your thyroid at night and the glutathione at day. And X39, it doesn't matter where you wear it.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
And if you can, if there's a budget for it, throw in another one, and that would be SP6. Right.
Okay.
SP6 has a big impact on metabolic activity and balance, and your thyroid's a huge part of your metabolism.
Beautiful. SP6 has amazing benefits. Amazing. They all do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move to Jody, and you partially answered this. So let's ask again. Can X39 be worn too long? Sometimes I forget to take them off. What should I do?
Oh, well, me too.
Yeah, you're human, Jody. It happens to all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, join the club. Probably at least once a week, I end up wearing a patch for 24 hours. No, it can't hurt you. Can you wear it too long? No. It's not going to hurt you. It actually will wear out and stop reflecting after so many hours. So at some point, it just becomes nothing, just something stuck on your skin. But the important thing is to have at least a 12-hour break, right? So say you wear it 24 hours, oops, just take it off, wait 12 hours before you put on the next one.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
that's the case with all the patches.
And just so you know, some of us set the alarm on our phones, 7 and 7, 8 and 8, 9 and 9, 10 and 10, whatever it takes to remember. You know?
Yeah, my husband does that.
Sometimes we're humans and we forget. Okay.
Yep.
So Janet wants to know, which patches would you use for a friend who is newly diagnosed with multiple issues from a deer tick bite? Not sure if it's acute or in its intermediate stages.
Well, it is different with acute or intermediate. So there aren't many times I do recommend antibiotics, but if you've been bitten and you're within a 30-day window, that's when I would use the antibiotics for that case. If it's beyond 30 days, it's not going to help you. So then you need to go to a different kind of approach. So keeping it in the topic of LifeWave patches, the patches, so this person is going to need more things, more tools in the toolbox, but the patches can help with a lot. They can really help reduce inflammation, which is a big issue. So to reduce inflammation, you've got the top three: X39, glutathione, and Eon. Doesn't really matter the locations, just where the person prefers to wear those. I would use energy enhancer to help that person's body support their energy production, because when you're sick and when you have that building chronic inflammation, it's going to take a big toll on your energy. So if you can support the way your body makes energy and improve the amount of energy, that would help them feel better. And then Ice Wave, if they have aches and pains, I would use Ice Wave. You can throw SP6 in there for a lot of things. We could do a whole hour on that.
Well,
one.
what I'd like to say is Dr. Barbara does private consults, and sometimes some of these questions need personal attention. And so maybe you can put your contact info in the chat, because she is an expert on detoxification and might have some other tools that can be supportive in a private session.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, Casey has a colleague who has a severe torn rotator joint, has used steroid injections and many pain meds, but does not want surgery. Besides X39 and IceWave, are there other patches that I can recommend to them? And is there a place that you can recommend for testimonials of people with similar conditions?
Oh, my husband has the best testimonial for a rotator cuff injury. I mean, it's really, it taught me a lot, actually. It took my appreciation and belief in how well these patches work, from here to here. So I'll just tell you this one, all right? My husband, Paul, 22 years ago, he had a
Injury?
he had a shoulder injury. His shoulder had been dislocated 13 or 14 times. It was a lot. It was really loosey-goosey. And so he had a capsule reattachment surgery. That over 20 years had developed a lot of arthritis. He had a really achy shoulder. He couldn't even sleep on his left side ever. And it just hurt. And that's sort of a bummer. He loves to golf. That's his number one hobby, and it hurts when he golfs. So 2 Januaries ago, he was changing our garage door. Something heavy fell. He caught it and snap, big snap. And he could no longer lift his arm above this, and he couldn't curl any weight. And this is a guy who's done 100 push-ups since he was 19 years old. He couldn't even hold the position, a plank position. Just, it was torn for sure. We went to the orthopedic doctor. She said, nothing we can do, too much damage, too much arthritis. The thing we can do is a shoulder replacement. So when you're ready for that, come back. Until then, live with it the best you can. So I told him, I'm like, well, I don't know how well these are going to work for you, but let's find out. So I had him put X39 right there, and then glutathione on one side, Eon on the other. It doesn't matter which. And within 3 months, he was doing 60 push-ups again. He was golfing, and he said, hey, you have to tell people I'm hitting the golf ball 30 yards farther than I ever have in my life. So that's 3 months. He continued to wear just X39 for several months after that. So that happened in January. The next November, we both realized, we're not even sure when it started, but he started sleeping on his left side. He would wake up on his left shoulder, like, wow. So 3 months, great results, but even more. I mean, just imagine all of that repairing that was going on for those 10, 11 months for him to be able to comfortably sleep on his left shoulder again.
That's an amazing story. So I hope that helped you, Casey. Yeah. You got a winner of a story there. Okay. Shire Doc. My husband suffers from redness on his palms with pain, some kind of immune system issue. So any recommendations?
Redness on his palms with pain, immune system issue.
And she's Shire Doc is being very respectful and not naming anything, but it starts with a PA.
Yeah. Okay. So Eon, I would definitely use Eon. You might want to use 2, 1 on each hand. You probably don't want to wear them on the palm, but you could wear them here. You could wear them here. X39 for sure. And as he's able to tolerate the glutathione patch, I would use that.
Beautiful.
And with the pain, I would try Ice Wave. See if Ice Wave can help. And that placement is going to be interesting to find because you'll probably need to be creative. With the palms, I would try, back of the hand and up here, maybe even up here. I would try, I don't know. I wouldn't want to wear a patch on my palm. I don't know if he would. Maybe on the inner side. You also might try wrist on the white patch on the right wrist and the brown on the left wrist. You could try 2 on each side. You might want a patch per arm or 1 on each. So I would try several different placements there.
So when you're doing that, and I love that you shared that, is you might want to, take some medical tape or a Band-Aid or a piece of Scotch tape and just play around with trying the different locations and see which one feels best, and then take off the adhesive backing and place it on there.
Yeah, I never take off the whole backing until I'm sure I found the best place.
Great, good advice. Okay. Sherry says, if you want to supplement with copper, what kind of copper supplement do you recommend?
Oh, that's a good question. You want to look for a copper that is bound in an organic molecule. So those are going to be forms like copper chelate, copper glycinate, bisglycinate, something. They're good. Probably one of those 2 forms is what you'll find it in.
Great.
If it just says copper, don't take that. You don't want just plain copper that can accumulate in your brain and lead to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's.
Don't want that.
Don't want that.
And David recommends, I believe, 2.5 milligrams. Is that correct?
Yep.
Not
It's
too
also
much.
very easy to Google foods high in copper and include those in your diet. That's your body's favorite way to take in copper.
And you just answered Tammy's question, which foods are copper rich? If you do a search, just like Dr. Barbara said, you'll find all kinds of wonderful things. Some you love and some you may not.
Yeah. I actually made a document. It's 2 full columns on 1 page of foods high in copper. So I Googled it. I took some from this, some from that, and just put them all together. Luckily, raw cacao is high in copper, asparagus, oysters, some nuts. So there's plenty of good stuff on there.
Great. So, from Anonymous, several people complain that within a few hours they feel foggy with X39, so they cannot work like that. I perceive these people need to detox. What would you say to them if they get foggy from starting X39?
Yes, it could be that they need to detox. So you could go two different directions with these people. You could have them wear it just for an hour or 2, take it off. Well, what I would do, I would say, next time make a note of the time, the length of time before you start feeling that way. Take it off. And tomorrow, take that length of time and decrease it by half an hour and take it off before you get there. And
Great.
then over time, gradually increase the amount of time you're wearing it, or wear it at night while you're sleeping.
Good. It's okay to be foggy at night when you're sleeping.
Totally.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. BP says, I have a condition with an inflammatory condition in the spine with a lot of pain. What do you recommend?
You've heard me say it several times tonight already. X39 Eon glutathione.
And
Yep.
no,
You can wear them. You can place those right along your spine. They could be, bing, bing, bing in a row. They could be spaced out however you want. I don't know how much of that area is painful. Yeah. those.
Okay, and like Dr. Barbara just said, there's a pattern here. I hope everyone's listening. If there's
Yeah.
any kind of condition, those three patches, X39E and glutathione, it's not like Western medicine where we go this for that. The body's doing the work, and the patches
Right.
give it the support to come
Yes.
back
So
to basis.
the patches help your body be healthy. And as you create more health, symptoms subside.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Sarah said she's got a client who mentioned she wakes up several times a night with hot flashes. Can you say more about SP6? She hasn't started using X39 yet. Would you recommend using both? Details, please.
Yes, I would use X39 during the day and SP6 at night. There are 2 placements that are recommended with SP6, I believe. Both of them work equally well in my experience. So the first time I put an SP6 on my sister-in-law, it was 11 o'clock at night. She was having 25 hot flashes a day. She woke up, as she said, most of them were during the night. She woke up the next morning and said, not one, not one. She got the best sleep of her night in 2 years.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it.
Mhm.
It can work that fast, you guys, but we can't promise anything. But for
Yeah,
some people, it does.
right.
Okay. Rodana is asking, could you please clarify how the body adapts when the patches are worn too long? Thank you.
Yeah, so maybe an analogy would be helpful. We have 7 kids, right? So if you have one kid who's a whiner and whines a lot all the time, you learn how to tune them out, right? In order to get your attention, the whining has to be different than what you normally hear all the time. So it's really a matter of, well, understanding homeostasis and that our bodies are constantly, every moment of every day and night, we are constantly trying to adapt to our environment, what's incoming, both of what you eat, what you're exposed to, and adapting to what's in creating balance. We're into survival, right? Balance is survival and health. And so if something is stimulating you all the time, it's going to kind of adapt to that. Like, oh, well, that's not new and different anymore. That's normal. So, I'm not going to respond to that like I used to.
Beautiful, beautiful. As a grandmother, if they're whining, I send them outside. Just saying. But if they're your own kids, it's a different story. I have a house rule around here, no whining inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moms can't always do that.
I know, but grandmas can. Okay, so I don't know if I skipped over this. Did we talk about wearing the patch during a shower? Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, they are waterproof as long as you've put them on some clean, dry skin, right?
Great.
Don't put them on right after you've applied lotion. Don't put them on when you're sweaty. Put them on before those things happen.
Great, great. And Hank is asking, after a hip surgery, what patches should he use?
X39, X49, Eon and glutathione.
Beautiful.
And IceWave for pain management.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And I think we're going to finish up with Lemuria. What compounds specifically are the other patches activating in the body, like Eon, SP6, Energy Enhancer, and IceWave? X39 activates GHK. What do the other ones activate?
Well, glutathione activates glutathione production. Now, glutathione is your body's most powerful antioxidant that you can make. It's made inside of a cell. And for that reason, it's not efficient it's expensive but not efficient to take a glutathione supplement. It's more effective to take the ingredients for glutathione, so those can be absorbed, brought into your cell, and then the patch stimulates, it gives instructions for your body to make more of it, more glutathione.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so the carnosine is going to stimulate your body to make more carnosine. We don't have time to break down all the specifics of energy enhancer and SP6.
Yeah, that's a longer conversation, and we've gone over a little bit. And so thank you, Dr. Barbara. Always just a treat to learn from you. Such a gift to our community. Thank you, everyone, for showing up tonight and for participating. We love being together as community and learning together, and you've been wonderful. If you're a guest this evening, please make sure you get back to the person that invited you, and we invite you to get started. If you're someone who wants it just for yourself, we have a wonderful customer program. If you're going to be sharing, we have a wonderful, generous compensation as a brand partner. So please ask about that. And everything comes with a guarantee, not like those stem cell injections, no guarantee on those. That's what got me going. And thank you, Gregory, for always doing such a wonderful presentation. So have a wonderful rest of your evening, everyone, and we'll call this call complete. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Night.